Here we go, my cigar-smoking, fancy car-driving, lady-killing ass. I'm not Andrew Tate. What I am, you degenerates, is a ventriloquist figure preformed by the artist currently known as BJD. BJ has a message. Actually, two messages before today's presentation begins. The first is that there is not one of you fools out of 100 out there watching that is going to hook up with a girl that is rated as a 6 or more in current 2024 society. And furthermore, not going to be able to attain the status of top G. Not by a damn sight.
Andrew Tate is very mean.
I'm not Andrew Tate. On with the presentation, and I will be along periodically just to ensure audience retention levels, and as well be back at the end for a special announcement. Yes, BJ must truly stay one step ahead of you degenerates at all times. The city of Antigua Guatemala is the head of the department of Zacatepec, Guatemala. Located approximately 25 kilometers west of Guatemala City, it is a colonial city surrounded by volcanoes, which has been preserved for centuries, making it one of the main tourist destinations and one of the most important cities in the country. During the viceregal era, it was known as Santiago de los Caballeros de Guatemala and was the capital of the Captaincy General of Guatemala between 1541 and 1776, the year in which the capital was moved to the Valle de la Ermita after the Santa Marta earthquakes. Ruined the city for the third time in the same century, a fact that the civil authorities used as an excuse to weaken the ecclesiastical authorities. Following the recommendations of the Bourbon reforms undertaken by the Spanish crown in the second half of the 18th century, forcing the regular orders to move from their majestic convents to fragile temporary structures in the new city,
¿Cuántos lejos?
Me indica
After the transfer, the city was called Ruined Guatemala, Old Santiago de Guatemala, and the Old City. It was abandoned by all the royal and municipal authorities, and in 1784, by the last two parishes, Candelaria and Nuestra Señora de los Remedios, also being left without ecclesiastical authorities. A few years later, Archbishop Cayetano Franco Simón Roy authorized the operation of 3 interim parishes that were named after their predecessors: San Sebastian, Candelaria, and Los Remedios, where the largest number of works of religious art that remained in the parish were kept, Antigua Guatemala. After the independence of Central America in 1821, it recovered the status of city and was named the head of the department of Zacatepec. Likewise, the state of Guatemala established circuits and districts for the application of justice through jury trials in 1825, and Antigua Guatemala was assigned as the headquarters of the homonymous circuit in district number 8, Zacatepec. In the 21st century, it is an important Guatemalan tourist destination for its well-preserved Spanish Baroque architecture with New World Baroque facades, as well as a large number of ruins of Catholic churches, even after the severe damage its structures suffered from abandonment, in which they were between 1776 and 1940, and by the earthquakes of 1874, of 1917, and 1976. 15. It is also recognized for the solemn Holy Week processions that have been held annually since before the transfer of the capital to New Guatemala. According to the official 2018 census, it has a population of 46,054 inhabitants. Many of the names of the municipalities and towns of Guatemala consist of 2 parts: the name of the Catholic saint, who is venerated on the day they were founded, and a description with Nahuatl roots. In the case of the noble city of Santiago of the Knights of Guatemala, the name was conferred in honor of Apostol Santiago. The first historical documents in which the name of Guatemala appears written are the letters of relationship that Pedro de Alvarado sent to Hernan Cortés in 1524. In the cited letters, the name of Guatemala is written in the same way as it is done now, and which is surely the Castilianization of the word Guatemalan, place of many trees, of Nahuatl origin, which was the name by which the Mexican auxiliaries who accompanied Alvarado and Cortés knew the Cachiquel city and nation. After the Santa Marta earthquakes that partially destroyed it in 1773, the city was abandoned by all the royal and municipal authorities between 1774 and 1778, and in 1784 by the last two parishes, Candelaria and Los Remedios, also being left without ecclesiastical authorities. From that moment on, the city began to be called Ruined Guatemala, Old Santiago de Guatemala, and the Old City. Since its founding, the history of the city of La Antigua Guatemala is associated with the floods and overflows of the Pensativo River, which occur due to the geographical position of the city, which is located in the middle of mountains and hills that cause floods in the flow of the river when there is excess rainfall in the area. Furthermore, the narrowness of the riverbed and the bridges that have been built over it influence these floods. The work of cleaning sand, stones, and logs from the bottom of the canal was done every year before the rains began. To carry out these cleanups, small crews of approximately 20 people per sector were used, these being normally hired by the city council and equipped with shovels, pickaxes, and hoes. The workers cleaned the channel by throwing the material to the sides, only causing the river to rise in level year after year and look for a new channel. In each flood, houses or silty streets were completely cleaned, while only enough of the riverbed was cleaned for it to continue flowing. Excavations carried out in 1997 at the northern end of the land occupied by the Santo Domingo convent found a colonial-built laundry room buried at a depth of shy 1 meter. Likewise, at a depth of 3.95 meter, exactly under the Matasanos Bridge, a cobblestone street appeared that was in a southeast to northwest direction. The direction and location of this street is, according to the Matasanos Alley that leads to the bridge of the same name, and which appears on the map drawn up in 1773 by the surveyor Jose Rivera y Galvez in the map of streets and water distribution of the Las Cañas Aqueduct of 1833, and in a painting about the water collection system of the Las Cañas Aqueduct, painted in 1840. That will do it for this one. If you would like us to exploit or make goofy jokes about something other than sports, please leave feedback via the comment section below. If you prefer us to direct our talents towards provocative Reddit stories, unusual stuff posted on Twitter do make your voice heard below. Being that BJ is living off his savings and I am an artificially engineered figure E. We have all day to scour the internet for these types of diamonds in the muff. Diamonds in the rough. Okay. Well, for BJ, D, this is the Andrew Tate puppet saying don't simp, don't cuck. Say no to dope and be kind to animals. As for what you do to humans, I could care less. And see you in the next. To make a personal request, receive channel merchandise, or to just hook a brother up, hit up the Cash App on the screen, or make a contribution to the PayPal shown on the screen.